And I'm proud to say now that we know and we can bring this knowledge to you today. So we will see together how our attention and awareness, our attention and intention, basically our life gets stolen away from us. We'll see when does it happen, and most importantly, how do we take it back for good. This is mission recovery. This is life extraordinary. Random external causes existed before we were born and will continue to exist long after we finish being here. They are the ordinary layer of life, whose main purpose is to keep us hanging around while we slowly get consumed. Now, let me ask you something. What are the three extraordinary things that you did today? If you can, please check if we have any contributions in the chat on this question. What are the three extraordinary things that you did today?
I'm checking it right now. In the Facebook chat. Just a second. Yeah, we have live. Now I see it. No comments in the Facebook yet, but I had a friend who was telling me when I was asking her about extraordinary things as my homework for this online day. She said to me one thing, that her father told her that it's about your attitude. It depends not what you do, but how. Because sometimes we can't avoid doing taxes, cleaning our room, taking a walk in some boring place that doesn't look really inspiring. But it's about our attitudes and what we decide to focus on. Even doing taxes can be extraordinary if you connect to your higher purpose and you say that, I'm doing it for my business, I'm doing it for something that brings my life to the next level and something that is my mission and my purpose. So as boring as these taxes are, they're bringing me to my better future. And just by doing this moment can become extraordinary. So that's what she said, and I love it, and I thought that I would share it. But if I'm thinking about my day today,
Yes.
I just intentionally focused on doing something that would be connecting me to my soul, to make my soul sing. So I went to the ocean side, and I had an orange, and I did a bit of like climbing on a little rock, and it felt great. It was a bit messy because I brought home a lot of sand, but it had this feeling that my soul was singing again, and I didn't feel it for a while, especially with such weather like we had in February. So it was a special day. It filled me with energy.
Normally, I keep drilling on this question whenever there is a larger audience, and I ask about yesterday. Yes, three extraordinary things about yesterday, about the entire week. But since you are already more or less versed in getting into the extraordinary, it doesn't help me. It's just for show, so I'm not going to do this. Let's focus a bit on the special moment of the day that you said. How did you feel? How did it feel?
It helped, like connecting to my childhood self.
Nice.
When I was a child, I had this idea that I could fly if I put enough, energy, and if I put enough will, I will be able to fly.
Beautiful.
And at some point, I was training how to fly, and I decided that when I will have the right inner state, I will be able just to jump from my bed up, and I will be able to fly. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and I hit myself. I was very upset, but then I thought that if I would be probably doing yoga for 10 years. And if I will be working on my energy, I would be able to fly. So, but today I understood one thing that sometimes it's not about flying in our physical body, but about having this sensation of flight when you are connected, when you're in the state of flow. And I was able to connect to the state of flow today. That's how I felt.
Okay. Question to you. What was your insights when you were then? What did you know? That you had access to something?
I had access to being happy, to the state of being happy.
Good. Good. Thank you. And now the kicker. How did it stop? How did you stop this?
Um, right after that, I went home. I thought about taxes. I thought about
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. This very understanding here is the key of us getting back to the extraordinary state. You'll see. All right, folks, here it comes. In this universe, energy flows in cycles. Your energy does too. There are 3 cycles that we can use to let our energy of our soul shine into the world and reconnect with the world. And I teach these cycles in our workshop. I also explain the energetic principles that animate them. The thing is, once you learn these principles and once you learn these cycles and you understand them, you will never be able to look at your life the same way again. Your life will change. For now, I want you to decide upon that change. The ones that will be seeing this. I want you to use this special place and time that is recorded and decide, will you allow yourself to get consumed or strike back to be extraordinary? Because we are here, and so is change, and somehow it has already started. Today is the day. Are you ready? Hopefully, people will be ready. First things first, energetic principles. These things are the building blocks of the universe. No more nor less. I'm going to give you 3 such principles that you can apply in your daily life, and you will see how much you can do with them. The duality principle, it simply states that there is an active phase and a connective phase in everything that exists, everything that is, energetically is. The affinity principle, it says that for every 2 elements of the same nature, there exists at least one area of common vibration, which is resonance, which is where we have the name of our institute. And the proximity principle says that for every 2 elements that are in proximity to each other, they're going to test each other, they're going to test their fundamental nature of each other. And consequently, like implicitly, they're going to test their capacity to co-resonate over time. And you will see them in action in our cycles. Today, I'm going to bring you 3 cycles that are most important for us because are the cycles that we can use and we do use for soul development. Here they are. Universal soul cycle tells us that everything that ever was, is, will ever be, us, our friends, our parents, our lineage, our children, everyone, everything, our pets, our garden, our fruits, is either instantiating from the source or reconnecting back to it. Why is this important from a soul perspective? Because this is defense. That's how you will protect your souls from the various mishaps that can and will come to you in this life. You have here a list of the 5 wounds of the soul, and it's very easy to see how each of them or any of them appears by simply denying one or another of the soul functions. It's defense, guys. Have it, use it. The next cycle that we use is, well, the universal harmonic cycle. Energy does something here. It manifests itself as identity, and then it goes all the way to its polar opposite, thus moving from a state of point to a state of bandwidth, to a state of spectrum. And then it finds a position between these two extremes that is harmonic to each other, that is harmonic with both of them in the same time. That position is a position of power, and is a position that actually builds. That's how everything is built. You have raised your hand? You have questions?
Yes, I have raised my hand, but I will. I have a question about the previous, and I will have a question about this one. But I don't want to interrupt you.
Let me go back to the previous. Ask me, please.
So, can you give me some practical examples? Can you give us some practical examples how, for instance, like, okay, for me, the wound of rejection when I was a kid, it always was a biggest wound. How can I protect myself with the help of this cycle? Because let's say that rejection is when someone refuses connection. So how do I go about protecting myself from rejection?
As soon as you understand that your soul, like every other soul, has these two functions, these two needs, fundamental needs that need to be met. These needs, they are impulses of your soul and impulses of everyone else's souls that have to be met somehow. You will see that everything that you do in the world, in society, anywhere, is aiming to cover one or the other of these needs. And you will also see that the hurts that appear from your continually trying to do so appear because one or the other of these functions is not allowed to express. So if you see this, you understand, okay, if I cannot connect to this person, we take rejection as it was your question. I'll find another person, and
Yeah,
I will
basically,
fulfill the connective function of my soul. My soul just needs to connect. Okay?
okay.
That's how it works. And the other question was?
The other was also that I'm a person who loves examples. So if you could also give an example of using universal harmonic cycle in your life, like a practical
Sure,
example, that would be
I
great.
have so many. My favorite example is our life. Is you, me, everyone. When we are born, that's our identity. This is our energetic signature into the world. We grow up to a point, let's say 7 years, 7, 8 years. Then we slowly start to move into polarity. We are going. There is some noise over there. From preteen and teenage onwards, you are going to define yourself not as much by what you are, by who you are, but by who you are not. And you are going to create this polarity, literally, to strengthen your identity towards your parents, towards the world around you that is trying to put you in one basket of past understanding, towards the world that you are going out into. You are going to say, I'm not that. No, I'm not that. I'm not this. I'm not this person. I don't do this. We hold this position dearly for, again, an amount of time, a cycle unit of time, up until we come to the point where we understand that both of them are necessary and both of them are equal, are needed, they're valid, they have validity. And out of those, we start choosing a harmonic point. How much of one type of energy expression, how much of the other you can be. Like about year 20, you are starting to get okay with parental supervision and parental presence, and because you have already built your own defenses and your ways of going into life and so on. And slowly but surely, that harmonic point becomes closer and closer to your identity, and it leaves the polarity part. But it still keeps both of them fulfilled. What you will be probably having is probably you are going to be disharmonic to the shadow of your parents. That's a totally different discussion, but it matches the same principle. It comes from the same reason. This is what psychologists will love to go into. We don't do right
We
now.
don't.
Okay. From a soul perspective, why is this cycle important for us? Because that's how you are going to create everything, anything in your life. That's how anything gets created. Your projects, your experiences, your dreams, your life. You need to follow this sequence. Any endeavor that you are going to bring into life and you want it to exist, any relationship, you need to have this cycle. The other cycle I want to give is a bit of an extension of this one. If you look at it, here energy does, again, identity, polarity, harmonic point, and then it starts collecting a series of harmonic positions for an entire cycle unit of time. You can look at this as two harmonic cycles, an active and a connective one. By now, you should be able to see how the principles get applied again and again.
I think.
Yes.
Sorry, Kat. Just wanted to add something.
Yes.
That I think that I understand this cycle. If I could share with you one little example that is very obvious.
Please do.
Like if we are looking at political parties, they start with, say, having one political party with a certain agenda. And then, of course, they would be having their antagonists that would be, saying something totally different. That, one party is believes in climate change, another doesn't, etc., etc. So, in order for harmony to exist, in order for country to develop, you need these two political parties to reach one common point. That would be harmony. But unless they are willing to maintain this harmony and work for that, unless everyone is willing to work for that, they can just fall back to this polarity. So they should stay for the certain time, maintaining harmony and trying to do so. And then it comes to coherence. That is already a more stable structure, and you can build with that. You can build the country.
That is absolutely
build the city,
correct. That is absolutely correct. Yes, you got it. Keep in mind that we are here to try telling people how to get an extraordinary life. Your example is absolutely correct, and it's beautiful. We will have to add more examples in the vein of how do we get happy. Okay. Now, from a soul perspective, why is this cycle important? It's kind of obvious, but I have to say it. That's how we grow. And at this point, I had it either at this point or a bit later in the presentation. I'm going to say it here. At this point, you have to understand that we have two choices, one of two choices in life. We either grow, our soul either grows, therefore we are going to do something beautiful but not easy, or our soul loses its power. Therefore, we are going to do something easy but not beautiful. I will get back to this point. All right, so we have these three amazing cycles that we can apply to soul development, where we just go out into the world and become great, right? No, it's not that easy. It turns out that each of these cycles gets stuck in their final phase. And I have looked at the dynamics, and I have tried to figure out what's happening. And it is the same reason that blocks each and every one of them. And it's not something that we do, it's something that we don't do. It's not something that we have, it's something that we miss. And that is very much awareness. A little note about awareness. I will be using this word in interchangeable. Awareness for me is consciousness, but consciousness as a word has been tarnished up to a point, so I can't do it without getting political, which I don't, or philosophical, which I also shouldn't. Awareness is simply a way of accounting energy. Awareness is also intelligence. So once we bring awareness and keep awareness into our cycles, it becomes beautiful. Not easy, but beautiful. We are going to see the soul cycles applied into our life. We are going to see them functioning, and we are going to see them giving us satisfaction, soul satisfaction. Okay. Questions up to this point?
I would like an example, please. Let's take any person that unfortunately leads a boring life. What would be the easiest way to use this knowledge and to take this life to the next level, to connect back to the magic of life?
It is not enough. It's important to know them, to understand them, but it's not enough. What I'm about to describe a bit later is as necessary in order for us to reach the extraordinary state. But for the time being, let's say that you are alone on the planet and you keep your awareness and you trace your soul evolution and you see, oh, right now I am, this is who I am not, this is what I want to be, which is a combination between the two, right? And I will keep being a harmonic version of that until my energy grows. For instance, this is who I am, that's light. This is who I am not, that's shadow. The harmonic position between the two is accepting both light and shadow in order to be able to function and to operate. And then doing that for a long enough time, a cycle unit of time, as I say, produces integration, produces coherence. It is, if you would be just one person on the planet, it would go easy. That's how you would say, as long as you will keep your awareness about these stages and about your choices at every stage of at every step of the stage, particularly the final ones. But there is one thing that we need more to put. In order for me to explain this model that we have various ways of doing it. There's a course in which we do it in a more extended version. We will have an absolutely hands-on version of doing this in the workshop. But for the sake of this presentation, I'm going to try to explain this. That's the easiest format that I could find. So you have these soul cycles that heal, restore, build, and allow to grow. This very information about them, the fact that they exist, the fact that they manifest, it's awareness. You take this awareness, you put it inside yourself, and something happens. Your energy gets activated. It's like, the perspectives. So many things I can do from my soul and for my soul. So we see this activation here immediately because we know the principles. We're looking for what? Where is the connective principle? How does this happen? Where is that? If this is the active part, where is the connective part? So if we take this compound and make it the active part, and you bring it to the right time and the right place. Like for instance, this presentation right here and right now. If you take the correct the correct energy and awareness, and you bring them at the right time in the right place, something as close to intentional daily magic happens. And that, in a nutshell, is how you get to the model. In order for me to describe it, I'm going to go again and use the affinity principle. Remember, which states here that between us and the source, since we are elements of the same nature, there can be at least one space of common resonance, of common vibration of resonance, which is a position of power, right? For both of us. And I'm going to take all the elements that I mentioned earlier and literally figure where is the position of power for each of them. And that understanding and that description of the extraordinary space, we have it in the course, but I'm going to briefly tell it to you here. So if you are interested, you come to us and ask for more. We're talking about circular time. We're talking about sacred space or resonance space. We're talking about dimensional energy and awareness. These are the coordinates that hold the extraordinary space, the extraordinary reality, the inner reality, I have to say, from which everything that fulfills our life needs to spring. This is the space where, this is the place and the time where we go back in and take the correct choices that our soul is aware of. And this is the space where we act from when we fulfill the intentions of our soul. You will see we have developed, and this is very much presented in the workshop, we have developed methods, we have developed instruments, we have developed routines of how to get from the state of ordinary world into where we need to be. Also come back from time to time because it feels good to get contrast, but come back from a position of, now that you understand affinity and proximity, come back from a position that is fulfilled. You know who you are, you will be able to know who you are not. And then come back on in your favorite space to reconnect with your purpose, reconnect with what you want to do, reconnect with your projects, and act from there. And that is pretty much the presentation of today. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Going to my stuck in a rut state of last week when I was doing taxes, terrible. Like I was, for these 3 days, because I didn't understand how to do some things, I was doing them for the first time. I was like stuck. I didn't understand the rules, like say Portuguese rules. I didn't understand some other things I was reading. I still didn't understand how do I submit a declaration. So anyway, there was, for me, it was like my version of Hell on Earth, for a creative person, of course. How can I use any of these tricks, any of these methods, any of these techniques that you have mentioned to put me in another state while I'm doing this? Do I have any chance to bring magic in this process? Because, I understand that my energy is wrong. My awareness is, I'm aware that I need to do this and that I need to be concentrated, but I don't enjoy it. And the place maybe where I'm doing it is also wrong. Like, I would prefer to do them in the spa. And someone providing me with a massage after every page of this report filled. But I was, sitting in my home office and it was raining outside. Like, if I have to suffer through such thing for 3 days, which methods from the presentation I can use to bring at least a bit of magic and good energy to what I'm doing?
Yes, you can. Yes, it's possible, but they're not in the presentation. They will be in the workshop. The the shorter version uh, of the techniques that I can give you now is once you go inside yourself, once you come to the extraordinary space, you realize why one thing or another is important for you, and you will be able to re-anchor that outside activity to something that has value, that has meaning inside. I remember we are in the Resonant Institute. We are doing the work of Viktor Frankl, The Will to Meaning. This is uh, our direction is and our understanding is this is the higher of the three. So, long story short, you find meaning into that. The meaning for you is going to be creative freedom. Once you do this, you are once again free to act, to do creative things into the world, and to bring people what they're expecting from you. You'll be surprised how much people can endure once they assign the correct meanings to their actions. And I don't want to keep Frankel here as a single example. Like each of us has personal history of efforts and sacrifices for the right reasons. There are methods to do this. There are methods to create, not only to create meaning, but to have it with you all time. There are anchors, there are triggers that you can use. They are all part of the workshop. So far, it's enough for you to know that yes, it is possible, and it's easier than you think.
So basically, I would be changing my awareness, or I would be going even more deep into awareness of what I do, which would
Correct.
be bringing the right
Correct.
energy.
Correct. The shortcut is becoming more aware. You become aware and say, oh, this actually means this is important for my future ability to perform. And then you align yourself with this, and then having this awareness with you is going to help you do it.
So from being in polarity with these taxes, like taxes needs to be done, but I don't want to do them, we come to harmony, which is like, yeah, okay,
You can
okay,
use it
taxes.
like this. You will need a
We'll be
reason.
doing
You
that.
will say, why do I need to harmonize? And for that, you need meaning. Okay?
All right.
The meaning is only found in the extraordinary space. It's the only way you can actually figure out why you do one thing or another.
So basically, I just have this hope for the future that if we have in mind that if with people all together, we want to still make this earth an extraordinary space and we want to live extraordinary life and we want to do it a bit better, then it's in our interest to keep this harmony.
Oh my dear, this is such a big topic. I have so much to say about this. Yes, you are correct. Not only that, we as humans, we are today manifesting ourselves as polarity to what nature is. Although we are two elements of the same nature. So the parts of us that are of the same nature as nature will be able to find a resonance space, a harmonic space. The examples that I keep giving are how can you integrate with nature, choosing points that satisfy you as a human, but also satisfy nature, satisfy the earth as the source of almost everything that is happening here. We should move from a humanity perspective. We should move from the stage of polarity into the stage of harmony. Now, it's easier said than done. People need to understand why, and people need to understand to see how this is happening. I hope that once people get a habit of holding an energetic perspective onto reality and onto everything that we do and are, they will eventually ask the same questions that they ask about themselves to the community, to humanity eventually. So you are absolutely correct. That's what we need to do. a year ago when I started this, I had the intuition that that's what next level is about. But today I can tell you there are two different things. Reaching somewhere and staying there, there are two different things. The reason why this thing is difficult is because from time to time, parts of us go there, reach there, manage to give everyone else hope for humanity by doing the extraordinary things. The difficult part is staying in the extraordinary space. And for that, I have dedicated so much time to figure out methods and instruments. And that is actually the contribution that we are bringing. To see it, one metaphor that I like to use is if we take this as a revolution, changing the quality of your presence, of your energy, just by expanding your awareness is the R of the revolution. Then you are going to need staying power to do one entire cycle unit of time, usually a large cycle unit of time, to do the evolution part, in which you have to keep the awareness. You have to show up. You have to do the things in the way that honors your first intention. And that is very much a discussion that I'd love to have with people inside the workshop or outside the workshop. This is pretty much what we want to help people to do. You cannot become extraordinary if you don't know how to remain extraordinary. The actual difficult part is not to be extraordinary because everyone has a spark inside, but to stay extraordinary in the face of continuous pressure of not doing and not being so. For that we have developed the methods and the practices and the instruments that we are going to offer. Okay. Any eventual questions, final questions, or whatever in the social media?
No. But
check.
folks who gonna have it, folks who gonna see it in the recording, you're welcome to ask us questions. Send us a message about this presentation. Send this on Instagram and on all the platform where we're streaming it right now. We will be able just to answer your questions privately. Just contact us after you see this. And if anyone is seeing this presentation right now, thank you guys. Thank you for your intention. Thank you for your awareness. Thank you for your time. And in the same way, thank you to everyone who will be watching this recording.
We now close this space with the same intention that we opened it. I hope you have found in this enough reasons to look at your life in a different way. I hope I have proven, I have demonstrated that we have enough intimate knowledge about the art and the craft of change, intentional change of life. I hope I have shown you, I mean, we did this for ourselves. We, of course, want to do it with and for so many other people. I hope I have given you at least something to think about, if not something to connect to and something to hope for. And I hope this is just the beginning of, today is just the beginning of, as I said, your extraordinary life. I hope you will be able to make a choice today. Thank you once again for bringing your awareness, your attention, and your energy to what we had to say. Keep us in mind for what we want to bring you further. With that, I leave you in peace.
Bye, folks. Thank you.
Bye-bye.